Next, we will continue with the two-way Anova test for without replication. Okay, and then we will take a look at with the replication. Okay, to start with that, I will give you quick background about this case study. We'll start with the case study. Okay, so we know very well, right? In the dynamic landscape of, for example, in the case of sales operation, understanding the factors that influence sales performance is very much important for optimizing strategies and resource allocation, right? So what factors can influence the sales? Can someone tell me? What factors can influence sales? So let's say you own a shop, retail shop. What factors can influence your sales? Price, right? If you give cheaper price compared to your rival shops, obviously it will influence your sales. Just because you want to compete with your rivalry companies, if you underprice, what will happen? Your profit, it will hit your profit margin, right? So we made 10,000 rupees sales, but profit, no, there is no profit. Okay, no profit, no loss. Then why should you do the business? So hence, we cannot overprice it, we cannot underprice it. But we need to come up with a strategy, right? First of all, we need to find out what factors drives the sales. What factors drives the sales, or what factors influences the sales? If I reduce the price, obviously the sales will be more, right? And also the other factors are like yes, time on this one, right? Prem, you're correct. So the season, festival season, usually they give the discount. They give the discount to pull the crowd to their business, because the volume is going to be more number of customers will visit their shop. More the customer they visit, even if the profit margin is less, that's what I'm saying, volume discount. Okay, so in that case, you will get good amount of the volume will be more, right? More the volume, even the margin is less, let it be there, but the volume is more. So right, so you need to understand what factors. Price is one of the important factors. Other thing is sales person. In your company, let's say you are in a medicines, in a pharma industry, and you people are producing the drugs, tablets, and other things. Okay, so in the market, to compete with these, let's say you have something like Cipla, and there are different players are there, right? In the pharma industry itself. The Cipla product, Cipla also, they produce the same drug, and the same drug is available other brand also. So in that case, you need to make sure that your price is, optimal, right? It should not be more than your competitor price, and it should not be much lesser also. Price is one of the important factors. What other factors? The salesperson. What factors can influence the sales? The salesperson. If you have a good salesperson, if they are experienced people, and if they have a very good network, obviously you can expect a good. 1 second, sorry, I'm getting some urgent call. Price and salesperson also. Okay, let's say your salespersons are street smart and they have a big network. The chances are that they can get more business to you, right? So they can get more business to you. The good salesperson, right? So the hardworking, but hard and smart working salespeople also another factors for influencing the sales. Okay, so in this case study, we'll be focusing on employing the two-way analysis of variance, Anova, without replication, to test the effects of the sales representative or region. For example, in this case, see, two-way Anova is also called as a two-factor Anova. Two-factor Anova. It is also called as a factor. So what factors can drive the price? Sorry, sales. What factors? See, the question is, what factor can drive the sales? Sales, more sales. Okay. Your manager is asking you, hey, can you tell me what factors can drive the sales? You are a statistician. Can you do some test or do some statistics and get back to me what factors are really driving the sales? So that we let us focus more our energies towards that that factor. Okay. So one factor is, see, this is a two-factor ANOVA. It is also called a two-way ANOVA. Okay, two-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA or two-factor ANOVA. This is without replication, without replication, without replication. Two-factor ANOVA without replication. Okay. What do you mean by factor? What factors can drive the sales? We can say, right? That is what we're saying. The price, other one is salesperson. But in our case, right, what we are doing is region. So we, in our case study, we are taking into account of two factors, region and sales person. Whether region has any influence on my sales or salesperson has any influence on the sales. You know very well the region. There are certain, let's say you are into food industry, right? There are certain foods you sell more, specific to the regions, right? In the north region, if you see, most of them they prefer roti. That is their food, right? But another simple in the south region, South India, most of them they prefer rice. So location to location, region to region, the preferences are changing. Customer preferences are changing, and similarly, the salesperson, right? The salesperson's effort. There are some salespersons, they really do great job. So they are the one, bringing more business, or they are the one bringing more money to your business. Okay. So we wanted to understand, in this case, we are taking two factors. One is the region, other one is sales rep. Whether the salesperson contributed more to my sales, or the region it itself contributes more to my sales, right? That is what we are going to test it. So region and salesperson, but within the salesperson we could see that four factors are there, okay, subgroups. And within the region we have six regions, five regions are there. Okay. So in this case, in south region, salesperson one, he sold 2 units. Let's assume that these are the, or let's say these are in terms of 100k, okay, 200k, 400k, 1200k, something like that. Okay. And these are the sales made by each salesperson in different region. But if you see the salesperson one, rep one, here he just made 200k, but whereas in south is 2400k made sales. Okay, the same thing is applicable, rep 2 and rep 3 and rep 4. So can we say, in irrespective of the salesperson, does the region plays an important role in terms of driving the money or sales to our business? Okay, but we cannot go by, these are randomly sampled data. We cannot go by the sample data. Better we will conduct the test and then we will finalize it. In this case, we have two factors. The one factor is region, other factor is sales rep. So you want to test whether the region is a factor that drives the sales, or the salesperson is the factor that drives the sales or influences the sales. What factor influences sales? Okay, that is what we are interested here. Okay, that is what we are interested. So for that, we are conducting the two-way ANOVA without replication. Okay, so in this case, look here. Here I have regions and salesperson. Everything is there. And what I do is the Excel is the best tool in terms of conducting the two-way ANOVA without replication. Okay. So for that purpose, I just click on the data ribbon, sorry, tab. And then here you can see the data analysis. And I'm going to click on it. Here also you can find the various statistical test. Yeah, here you can see that two-factor ANOVA, two-factor with replication, two-factor without replication. Right? Now I'm going to select two-factor with replication. I'm going to click on this one. I need to select the rows and columns. In this case, I just simply select the numerical value only, because this one will accept only the numerical value. Okay. So I selected everything. I'm going to new worksheet by something. Okay. Okay. What happened? It was showing some 200 rows or per sample is required. Please enter. Okay. I think I did not select it. I wrongly look here. Here I need to select like this. Rows per sample. Okay. Sorry, this is with replication. That's the problem. Without replication. Sorry. Okay. Without replication, because here the data is not replicated. And I'm going to hit OK. Two-way Anova or two-factor Anova without replication. Look here, this is what is given. The same thing, I just put it here in color, okay? In the background, I put it color so that you'll be able to understand very clearly, okay? And look here, in this case, this is the one generated by the Excel sheet, okay? The Excel tool. In the data analysis, right? I selected the two-factor ANOVA without replication, okay? But these are the statistics output produced by the Excel when I conducted the two-way ANOVA without replication. Okay, so row one. So this is row one is this one south, and in how many values are there? 4, right? And in the row, first row, 4 values are. Second row also we have 4 values, and third row, fourth row, fifth row. Each row we have 4 values are there. And then if you add all the values, how much you will get? Look here, 32. Can you see 32 here? So that is what. So these are the things computed, generated automatically by the Excel tool when you conduct this test. Okay. And variance also it gives us really good. Okay, variance. And the next one is the effect. This is the effect. This is the one we have explicitly computed. Look here. In this case, the average for row 1 is 8 minus the overall average. That is what the effect for this row. Okay, these are called effects. Okay, minus only this one we need to do it manually. Fine, we did this. And similarly, column 1. So column 1 is rep 1. Okay, the column 1 is nothing but rep 1. Column 2 is rep 2, rep 3, rep 4. Okay, row 1 is this one, the regions, and columns are your representatives. Okay, sales representative. And then if you scroll down, you will find a table called ANOVA. Here the source of it gives us rows, columns, and errors. Okay. In this case, you have something sum of square error, degrees of freedom, mean squared error, and so on. And let's not worry about all the things. Only thing is we just look at the p-value in both the cases. So for rows, what do you mean by rows here? What do you mean by rows here? All of you, please type it in the chat window. What do you mean by rows here? South, north, east, west, south. These are rows. You are correct. Correct, right? Sangeeta, you are correct. Sumati, you are correct. Raji, you are correct. The rows are nothing but the regions. I just let me do one thing. I'll just the rows are nothing but regions. Okay, the columns are nothing but rep 1, rep 2, rep 3, rep 4. Okay. If you see the south, the row 1 is your south, and north is row 2, and third row we have east, west, and southeast. Okay, and column 1 is your rep 1, and column 2 is your rep 2, and rep 3 is your column 3, right? Third column, right? This is your third column, this is your fourth column. Okay, that is what it shows. And for each row and each column, it gives us these statistics automatically. Only thing is we need to compute this one. For this one, how did I compute the effect? And if you keep the cursor here, the average of column 1, which is nothing but 16.8, you need to subtract it from the overall average. That is we got this value. These are called effects. I'm going to call this effects. And anyhow, let's not worry about all these things. Only thing is the rows and columns. Rows we need to look at it. What is rows? Regions. Columns are nothing but salespersons. When you look at the p-value, it is pretty straightforward. So the p-value is less than alpha or not? P-value is less than or alpha or not? So can we reject the null hypothesis or not? So we know very well. The simple rule is p-value is less than alpha. If p-value is less than alpha, reject h sub 0. null hypothesis. Okay, reject a sub-zero. Okay, so now there are two hypotheses here, null hypothesis. One is region has no influence on sales. The ones test H sub-zero. Region has no influence on sales. This is test 1 and 2. And another null hypothesis, salesperson has no influence on sales. Got it? The alternative hypothesis, this one, okay, H sub A and H sub B. And in the alternative hypothesis, the region has influence on sales. Salesperson has influence. Here, no, okay. But here, yes, region has influence. That is what your alternative hypothesis. But we need to reject the null hypothesis. Is it possible to reject the null hypothesis with the p-value? Can you all please make it? So if you can respond it quickly, that I can understand that you are able to follow me and you are also working hard by watching my video, or you are focusing here. And this is the one I told you n number of time, right? And I am not getting any response from you, anybody. So what is p-value? You can refer whatever. Yeah, you are correct. You are correct. So who says, yeah, Sangeeta says, yes, p-value is less than alpha. Reject the null hypothesis. Correct. That is what I wrote it. Correct. So what is the p-value here? Oh, in both the cases, reject the null hypothesis, sir. That is what Sangeeta mentioned. How about Raji? Yes, she is also mentioned. Deepika, Deepa, Anwar, Aishu. Good that all of the non-statistical freshers, you answered everything. Very good. So P is less than alpha, reject null hypothesis. So in this case, E-05, that means this is equivalent to 0. I told you in the other session, if you find E after the value, that means it is a very, very less value. Look here, anything E minus 0.5. E minus 0.5 is something like, you need to prefix 40, you just think that way. Okay, if it is 5, 4 zeros before the value, 609, 811. 00040 and 609811. So this is what your p-value. What is alpha? We know it is 0.05, right? This is what we need to keep in our mind. This is what our p-value, this is what our alpha value. Since the p-value is very, very less compared to alpha, reject the null hypothesis. For the first one, we are going to conclude region has an influence on sales. But here the p-value is very, very less. Hence, it is highly statistically significant, the p-value. Hence, we are going to reject the null hypothesis. We are going to conclude region does influence the sales. So what do you mean by region does influence the sales? Like I said, in the north region, if you sell wheat powder, the sale will be more. But if you sell rice, you think North Indian people, they buy rice? No, right? So region also has no matter what person that you deploy, the salesperson, even if you deploy a very experienced salesperson in the north region, and if you ask him to sell the rice, you think people will buy rice? No, right? So region plays an important role in terms of increasing your sales. Influencing the sales is nothing but increasing your sales. Okay. And the next one is obviously the 0.01 is less than. See, this is 0.01 is less than 0.05. P-value is less than alpha. Hence, we reject the null hypothesis. Salesperson has no influence on sales. We are going to reject the null hypothesis, and we are going to conclude that salesperson has influence on sales. In your company, if somebody says, you are a salesperson, you are not at all contributing. But by conducting the test, you can say, hey, the p-value is 0.01. As per the test, yes, my presence is really, my presence also influences the sales, right? I'm also bringing the money to your business. You can say that way. So in both the cases, so in the case of two-way Anova without replication, what we did, we need to conduct two hypothesis tests. For the first hypothesis, this is the null and alternative, and second test, this is the null and alternative hypothesis. And by looking at this value, so look here, this is pretty simple. This make our life very simple. What else you need it, guys? right? So the rows are nothing but regions. The columns are nothing. Look here, the columns. These are the columns, right? Columns are your salesperson, and the rows are this one. The regions. So the rows are regions. The p-value is less than alpha, and this p-value is very, very less. Okay, hence we reject the null hypothesis, and we are going to conclude that the region has an influence on the sales. Similarly, we are going to reject the null hypothesis for the second one. We are going to conclude the salesperson has influence on the sales. So this is a pretty much simple example, and yeah, and if you go down here with this test, you can do prediction also. For example, if somebody is asking you to predict, so this is very much important, okay? And using Anova test, how can you make a prediction? Is it possible to predict? Yes. So look here, here the formula is overall average plus rep effect plus region effect. So you would have wondered why I subtracted the average for each row from the total average, and why I subtracted the column average, each column average from the total average. You might have wondered. So to get the effects, these are called your effects. The rows are called your region effect. The columns are called your rep effect. So rep effect plus region effect plus overall average. So overall average, we know what is. This is 19.45. Look here, the overall averages. Look here, all the values put together, the average, right? So 19.45, and overall average is 19.45. And if you see here, let's see if our manager asking you a question, kind of what if analysis, right? Tell me how much sale I can expect. Tell me how much sales can I expect in North region? How much sales can I expect in North region if I put the salesperson 2? If I put salesperson 2, how much money can I expect in North region? So in that case, look here. This is the one you can use it. Look here. We know what is overall average, 19.45. What is the question here? Region, North region, salesperson. So in this case, the North region is a row 2 and row 2. Look here, row 2, right? North region is row 2 and the salesperson is 2, right? Salesperson is 2, column 2. Row 2, column 2. So row 2 rep effect, sorry, row 2, the region effect is 16.5, and simply plug in the value here. Okay, 16.5, and then the region effect is not 16.5 minus 4.05. Simply plug in this value here. Okay, and this one gives me the overall average. So sorry, not the overall average. This gives me the predicted or the estimated sales for salesperson 2 in North region. So this way we can tell how much sales can be achieved if I deploy a specific person in so-and-so region. Okay, there is another question here. I just want to know in the sales, in the region, North region, how much sales can I expect without rep effect? If I don't deploy a salesperson, how much sales can I expect in North region? In that case, don't put anything as 0, this one. All they need to know is the region effect. Okay, and here the question is North region, and row 2 is your second row, you have North, hence you need to look at North. Row 2 is the effect 16.5 plus the 19.5, how much? 3641 something, right? Yeah, that is the one. Right, without the salesperson, see, there will be analysis, right? Let's say you are owning a company or started your business. You wanted to understand, do I need to have 4 salesperson? Without salesperson, what is my sales? With salesperson, what is my sales? If you find the sales is really good without the salesperson itself, then why do you need to hire a salesperson? You need to pay salary and all, right? Yours is a startup company. Just now you started. So that kind of, and again, there are some region, it doesn't require any salesperson. That my product will, definitely will sell. For example, in Chennai, I don't know, Tamil Nadu, right? Ambika Appalam. It's a very popular brand. Okay. So this is very popular in this region. People will go and buy it by closing their eyes. But north region, their preferences, the eating preference is different, right? So here, you want to take a call whether do I need to deploy a salesperson because my brand is already good. So why do I need to have a salesperson? Okay, so for that, you cannot take a decision just like that. You need to use the formula and then you decide. Okay, so in that case, the rep effect is 0 because you wanted to see without salesperson, what is the effect on my sales? And then what you do is without region, okay, put 0 here. With rep effect, what is my sales? With rep effect, what is my sales? That is what you need to calculate. So in that case, yes, so there are cases both the region as well as the salespersons, with their contribution, my sales is good. But there are cases without salesperson, with the region itself, my sale is really doing good. Hence, I don't need a salesperson there. There are cases, yes, region does not have any impact. The salesperson, because of the salesperson, the sale is more. So in that case, you need to have a salesperson that specific location. So these are the business questions. In real world scenario, they'll ask you. This is very much important. Okay. And so in that case, you can, with this formula, you can estimate and tell, look here, also the 95% confident comes in. Again, they'll say, okay, you are saying the value is something. You tell me what is the confident level that the sale is expected with this range. Again, I told you, we discussed about confidence interval, right? Plus or minus. Confidence interval we discussed with 95% confident that if I deploy a salesperson too in the north region, I can monthly expect the sales values between two ranges, 10.37 and 26.33, something like that. Okay. What you do is I'll share the Excel sheet. You select this value and then click on it in the formula bar. Okay. Then it will get highlighted. Okay. You just see what is happening. Look here, even I selected this is called your standard deviation error. Okay. And here, in this case, what happened? I have, the standard deviation, nothing but in this case, a error. Okay, the mean squared error is, we have taken the standard deviation of the mean squared error. I'm getting this error. Okay, and this one you need to subtract, you need to multiply this here. Okay, so -2 standard deviation plus or -2 standard deviation, which is nothing but, you remember in the Chebyshev theorem, the plus or -2 the standard deviation covers 95% of the area, right? So it is a 95% confident that if I deploy salesperson 2 in north region, I can expect these sales anywhere between this one. This is, look here, -2 into standard deviation. This is +2 into the standard deviation. If you need to click on it here, okay? So that whatever the values I got used in this one, right? It get highlighted here. This is how you can estimate, you can make an estimate about the sales, okay? With the different, so this is called a what if analysis. What if I deploy a salesperson 3 in Southeast? How much can I expect the sales with 95% confidence? The same thing, but here you need to, let's say if they ask you rep 3, rep 3 is column 3, you need to look at the column 3 effect 2.95. And then the region, which is they are asking the region as Southeast, the fourth row, row 4. This is 19.25. 19.25, you need to put it in the region effect. 2.95, you need to put in the rep effect. Overall average already we computed. Add all the values, and then you can tell what is the expected sales. So in this case, if the region effect was significant and the sales representative effect was not, so we can test that also. If you put 0 here, you will get to know without salesperson. See, in this case, what happened? If the predicted sales for salesperson 2 in north is in 31.9, but without salesperson itself, the sales is good. Then why the hell should I deploy a salesperson, right? One second, let me check are the formulas are correct. C11 plus M10. Yeah, M10 is This is the one, right? Yeah, this is row 2, correct, 16.5. That is for my region, correct. Region average 16.5 plus overall average is 19. So 20, 35 and odd, right? 35 and odd, I'm getting it. But here the overall average, let me see. Yeah, all the things put together, right? Salesperson, all the thing. Look here, predicted sales for rep 2 in region. Okay, if I deploy a salesperson 2 in this region, the sales is less. If I don't put a salesperson, my sales is good. There is something wrong with this guy. Okay. Maybe the expenditures, the money, whatever you're paying it to him, right? The incentives, it is not helpful. Okay. Hence, better you can stop the salesperson. You don't put any salesperson. Without salesperson, itself my sales is good. But next one is, if the region was not significant, okay, if I put the salesperson alone, how much am I going to get? Look here, you can answer all the questions. Guys, in the real world scenario, they'll ask you all these questions once you join as a data scientist, okay? And here, with this, you can justify, the salesperson too in the north region is not doing good job at all, okay? So without a salesperson, itself, the sales is really good. And then they'll ask you this question, give me the expected sales for the salesperson too in north region. How much can I expect on a monthly basis? It's not a monthly base. Every month it cannot be same, right? The values will vary. Hence, we use this, Chebyshev's theorem. We say 90% confident that the salesperson is assigned to the north region. These are the expected sales from them. Okay, it's pretty simple. You watch my video and then I'll share this Excel. Obviously, yes.